Welcome to WWE NXT. This is September 25th, 2019 review of NXT. And you're listening to Slipknot's Out of Life, the theme song of NXT on a weekly basis, heading into the show before it starts. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was just a small intro into the show. Thought I'd spice things up a little bit. I don't think I sang that well, but who gives a shit? I'm not here to sing for all of you. I'm here to give you guys my opinion and view on the show for WWE NXT. Let me put it to you this way. At least the first hour of NXT on USA Network was entertaining. It had a very shitload of fun wrestling going on between the kickstart of the show with Keith Lee and Dominik Dijakovic going up against each other with two Battle of the Bulls in that matchup, which to me was the match of the night, really, to be honest with you. The runner-up towards that match was Matt Riddle and Killian Dane. I gotta tell you guys, this show was pretty off the hook for the first hour. Second hour, not so much. It didn't seem like they put a lot of effort into it. Seems like they were just more laid back. I guess apparently it had a lot to do with the fact that the show is having its last time ever aired on the WWE Network without, being basically just not being ever shown on the WWE Network live at this point, the way they were before. So let's go into the first match. Keith Lee versus Dominik Dijakovic. I don't know if I'm pronouncing the name correctly. It is a very hard name to pronounce. But this matchup, ladies and gentlemen, the way they kickstart the show is just fucking unbelievable. Great action, entertaining shit. These guys beat the hell out of each other, roughed each other up, and just gave it their all in this match. To end the match, Keith Lee goes for he goes for his own moonsault, but Keith Lee starts to stir immediately and sits up, lifting Dijakovic in the process, and wins by a jackhammer. He basically, let me reiterate that because I was kind of glancing over the notes from the match itself. They go to a Canadian Destroyer from the top. He gets a 2 count, follows up with a moonsault of his own onto Keith Lee, and then Keith Lee, while in pin, goes ahead and gets up as if he was the Undertaker coming out of the grave, and then providing a jackhammer to get the 1, 2, 3. Awesome fucking ending to that matchup. These guys hit each other back and forth with rough shots. I'm pretty sure they're sore as fuck from this matchup. I really believe that. And they put their all into this match. I was very entertained by this and very surprised. Keith Lee, at this point, has had the best match he's ever had in his career so far. At least in NXT, from what I've seen. We have some of the matches highlighted in the show for next week, with Shayna Baszler facing Candice LeRae for NXT Women's Championship. The tag team titles are on the line. The World Championship now is on the line, too, after Matt Riddle and Killian Dane went at each other in their Street Fight main event on the USA Network. Dakota Kai faced Tay Nara. This matchup didn't really appease me very much. It didn't really attract my attention. I didn't really care for this match whatsoever anyway. Um, so let's see, what else did we have? After that, we just had Matt Riddle versus Killian Dane on the first hour to close out the USA Network's episode. And Matt Riddle defeated Killian Dane. These guys went all over the inside of the arena. Thankfully, it did not go on the outside, having backstage interference and total chaos like it did last week. Excuse me. But overall, we got a very nice match between these two guys. I really didn't have any complaints about this match. This match definitely had everything I was looking for, at least in a street fight. There was no outside interference, and it was just straight up two guys going at it and trying to win a match. So at the end of the day, Matt Riddle picks up the victory with submission with a reversed armbar, and Killian Dane tapped out. I would have preferred better if Killian Dane would have been placed in the guillotine and then choked out and never tapped out and just passed out to sleep. I think that would have been the better move for them to do. But unfortunately, that was not the case. They just make him tap out in this maneuver for a small period of time, and then he just taps. So that's pretty much the whole overall gist of this matchup. This match, though, was very good. I had no complaints on it. It did close out with Adam Cole coming out and taunting Matt Riddle, and Matt Riddle puts him in the reverse armbar and makes him tap out as well. So that was pretty much the end of hour one on the USA Network. We then head over to the WWE Network. It kickstart with Rhea Ripley. I believe I'm pronouncing the name correctly. I was informed by my friend that I was pronouncing the name incorrectly at the time for the last 2 weeks, so I do apologize if I have. But Rhea Ripley defeated Kaden Carter, which this matchup was just really nothing to it. It was just pretty much mostly Rhea Ripley getting control of this match, winning the match with a Riptide finisher and getting the 1-2-3. Arnie Lorcan and Danny Burch go into action against two enhancement talents by the name of Chase Parker and Matt Martell. They are called the Ever Rise, and this match, Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch pick up the victory here on that. And that's pretty much it on that match itself. Let me see here. My freaking thing keeps freezing up on me here. Apologize about this, guys. So let me see here. We go from there. We go to Cameron Grimes and Real Mendoza. This matchup actually was decent. Probably the best match in the last hour outside of the 6-man tag team match that took up most of the time, but it was cut off short, I think, a little bit because it finished at like 9:45, and that was pretty much it of that whole match, which was kind of surprising. They closed the show out like 15 minutes earlier. But Cameron Grimes and Raul Mendoza, they go at it one-on-one in their matchup. This matchup was a repeat of last week, only this time it was an actual match instead of ending in less than 5 seconds. Raul Mendoza, impressive guy. I don't know why they're not pushing him as a NXT talent that could be placed in like NXT TakeOver events and possible moving up in rankings and things of that sort to get some sort of title opportunity, get him in a rivalry with someone and seem important, because this guy really has a lot of skill. I think he's amazing for what he does. But the match ends with him losing by Cameron Grimes hitting a leaping double stomp on Raul Mendoza. Raul Mendoza to me reminds me of like Dolph Ziggler on the WWE main roster. He's just a guy that's got a lot of talent but just loses all the time to everybody. We then get the main event with Imperium with Marcel Barthel, Fabian Art Ackner, and Alexander Wolf against Kushida and the Fashion Police of Breezango, or not Breezango. Well, the name of the team is Breezango technically, which is Tyler Breeze and Fandango. This matchup, I really have to say, was kind of decent. It was alright. It really wasn't needed to be the main event. But at the end of the day, this matchup ended up with Kushida picking up the victory and getting the win by a submission hold. I don't know why I can't go downward, but every time I seem to use cage side seats to get my results and information for you guys, it really doesn't want to respond with me. So let's try this again. Alright, so let's scroll down. Alright, sorry about that. Yeah, so Kushida and the Fashion Police win the match by pinfall. Kushida with a O'Connor roll on Marcel Barthel, and Kushida ends up celebrating, going up the ramp, but Walter comes out of nowhere from behind and levels the Japanese wrestler with a boot and stands tall with his faction to close the show. So that's pretty much the overall gist of this show. Not much of a review I'm providing you guys, because honestly the majority of this show was more NXT related when we were on the USA Network. This week, USA Network's portion of the NXT show was better than last week. But the issue is that last week, the network was doing what the USA Network was doing, which is continuing where they left off. That was good wrestling. This episode did not really provide that. It only gave me a really good impression of the USA Network presentation, and then when they went to the WWE presentation, it just kind of went downhill for me. I wasn't really impressed with the second hour. It wasn't even really a second hour. It was kind of a lighthearted thing that they did, and it just fell off to me. I just don't think that they put a lot of effort into the second hour, just mainly because of the fact this show was not going to be on anymore on the WWE Network, and it's all about the USA Network at this point. So that's just how I feel about it. I don't know how you guys think, but that's really all I have to say about the show. It really had everything it needed to at least be passable as a watchable show. Better than Raw or SmackDown this past week. That is a definite. There is no way in hell Raw or SmackDown had a better show than NXT. At least what we did have here, if anything, was wrestling. Wrestling related, dealing with championships and reasoning to become champion. And all that jazz. That's what we got out of this. That's what we deserve to have. That's all we need. We don't need all this run-on bullshit with idiotic storylines that mean absolutely nothing and do nothing for us as the fan. So that's just how I feel on the subject. Leave your comment and opinion down below. I'll get back to you on that. Hit the like button if you liked the video, and hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to the channel. And I thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have a great night, guys. Bye.